Hi, welcome to the the inaugural edition of ManUP. We'll talk about what it means to be a man. What is ManUP? What does all this stuff mean? We're going to find out right here on the very first ManUP. With me today, I'm just going to pass it around basically, if that's okay. Drew, you want to go first?
Sure.
Now, first of all, I need to point something out. I was going to wear short sleeves, but then when I saw Drew wearing short sleeves, I said, I think I'll wear a long sleeve.
Right, a little intimidating. Sure, pick on the backy.
yeah, that's it. But I just figured, I don't want to show off the guns.
Right.
But in any case, Drew, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you think a man is, actually.
Sure. Well, my name's Drew. I'm from here in Minneapolis. Got 3 wonderful children. 2 daughters about to enter adolescence and grow the horns and the tail. They're 11 and 12.
11 and 12, wonderful.
5-year-old son.
It's a very important part of being a man, by the way. We're going to get to that several times on ManUP, no question about it. So you grew up here in Minneapolis. You've been married how many years?
I'm divorced, actually.
Oh, I'm glad I asked. Yeah. That worked out really well. I'm glad that came up. So, how'd you ruin your marriage? No. Back to the kids. We'll get back to the kids. So, Drew, you have 3 children, you said.
Correct.
11 and 12 and 5.
Yep.
Magnificent. It's great having you on the show.
Yep.
Tony.
How you guys doing? Tony Grygelko, from North Branch, Minnesota, small town. I don't know if you're familiar with North Branch.
I know where North Branch is, absolutely. I used to live in Dayton.
Okay, yeah. So, local promoter here in town. I promote boxing and MMA. Father of a 2-year-old son, Jack. And the ManUP thing, I'm really excited about the opportunity to sit down and talk about ManUP because I think in society today it gives us an opportunity to educate some of the people out there what it means to be a man. I think we're struggling with that.
Well, I think you're absolutely right about that because somehow you tune into any television show, you see a commercial, it's always a dad that's a moron, totally incompetent, can't do anything right. I don't know when that happened. I mean, anybody else gets insulted like that, they have a fit. But if the father's an idiot, the father doesn't know what he's doing, whatever, oh, that's funny, somehow, which is fine. Taking a punch is all right, no problem, right?
We've all took a few punches.
Yeah, taking a punch is fine. But the whole idea of what a man used to be and is now, we're kind of moving to the middle here, and I think that's a big mistake. Because no matter who you are, who you're with, whatever, being a man means many, many different things. As an example, you talked about your children. I love the fact that when we started talking, the first thing you guys said was, well, I have 3 children. Well, I have a child. That to me is number one. If you're going to man up, and we're going to talk about what ManUP means actually on this show quite a bit. But in my mind, to be a man, and I think you guys have heard me say it before, my favorite scene in The Godfather, the movie Godfather, is when Marlon Brando says to James Caan, a man can never be a real man unless he spends time with his family. You guys, tough guy. I mean, you guys are tough guys, let's be honest. The first thing you mentioned were your children. See, that to me, says you manned up. You realize my children are more important than anything in the world to me. I just talked about a little bit to a friend of mine. One of the things, my son's 27, my daughter's 25. One of the things that I really miss about having small children, like a 2-year-old, is you go for a drive and you all of a sudden realize your children are asleep and you get to carry them into the house and they stay asleep. And the reason they stay asleep is because they know dad's going to protect them.
Yeah.
Whether they know it consciously or not, they know I can stay asleep even though this person picked me up and carried me away. I can stay asleep because my dad is going to man up and protect me from whatever. And
very empowering.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, holding your children, having little girls. My daughter's 25 now. You're going to like some of the stuff you're going to go through, Drew, I'll tell you that, man. It's a whole different thing being a father of little girls. You know what I mean? It just, it's terrific. So Drew, Tony, it's great to be here with you.
Great to be here.
My name is Tom Barnard. I do a radio show, a podcast, TomBarnardPodcast.com. I do some commercials. I got to do all kinds of stuff. I didn't realize ManUP took so much time. And I don't mean the show, just actually being a man. You know what I mean? It is what it is. When we come back, we'll take a little break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what is ManUP. right after this.
Pick up the latest issue of Wheels of Thunder magazine. If it's on wheels, you'll find it in Wheels of Thunder. Full color photos of bikes, trikes, cars, trucks, and even sleds. High performance or right off the street. Mind-blowing power, speed, and custom touches. It's all in Wheels of Thunder magazine. Plus, find out about the latest races, rallies, and custom products and services in your area. Check out Wheels of Thunder on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Wheels of Thunder.
I'm Randall McDaniel. As a former Minnesota Viking and a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I know how important it is to fuel up to be successful on and off the field. Now, I work with third graders, and I see firsthand the positive impact exercise and good nutrition has on my students. As a partner with the Taste of the NFL and the NFL's Play 60 program, I'm proud to do my part to make sure kids get the nutrition they need. Please help us kick hunger in America and encourage an active lifestyle by supporting the Taste of the NFL and the NFL's Play 60 program.
Welcome back to Man Up, ladies and gentlemen, a new concept. Well, it's an old concept. We're turning it into a new concept. Kind of updating the concept is the best way to put it. And I need to gesture more with my hands because I love doing it. I do. I just always been talk with my hands. You know, it's been my whole life. But in any case, we're going to talk about what it means. What is Man Up? What does that mean? What does it mean to be a candy ass? You know, because we talk about different things. I talked to you guys earlier about the fact, you know, because we've been friends for a while. I should point out that, you know, Drew and Tony and I have been friends for a while. We talked about why is it now that you're a man because you let somebody kick you in the seeds? How does that make you a man? I don't get that. But what I want to hear, Drew, what is Man Up to you?
Man Up to me is about being a man. You know, it's in society today, and we had talked on this a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. You know, men have certain biological advantages that women don't have.
Right.
You know, the propensity for strength, for risk taking, etc. That society's kind of pushed down. You know, what we see these days is a guy can go through his whole life without getting in a fist fight. You know?
No, it's true.
So, most jobs don't require any sort of physical strength anymore.
So just to be a man is to be what you're supposed to be. Basically, you're saying follow biology, follow the pattern, and be what you're supposed to be.
The difference between being good at being a man and manly activities and being a good man today. That's something I think we should explore a little bit further.
You know, I like that. To man up just means to be. You know what? That's very succinct, and I think it's really accurate. Man up just means be a good man.
Right.
I love that. It's very simple, and it makes a lot of sense. Tony, how about you?
You know if you're being a good man, too.
I think you're right about that.
Not calling you a Nance. Right.
Well, you're not calling me a Nance. We call Tony a Nance.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever works.
Well, when you brought this whole concept to us, you know, the whole Man Up concept, I thought it was unique because in society you don't see, people don't even use the word man up anymore. You know, I think when we were kids, when you were kids, a lot of people would say, you know, man up, you know, and I don't think the society nowadays don't even understand what the terminology means. And so I looked at it like, you know, this gives us an opportunity to really give back to and embrace, you know, our manliness in society right now. Maybe educate some of the people that are lost right now.
I like it a lot.
It gives us, you know, maybe it'll inspire some people to stand up and embrace the fact that they're the fathers in a lot of people's family and maybe throw a few punches to Drew's face a few times and wherever the direction the show takes us.
Run like hell. Throw a punch and run like hell.
So I just sign a waiver before you do it.
One of the things I really like about this crew and why we get along so well is Drew, Tony, and I are not talking about being, we know what a man is. We're experts. It's not about being an expert. It's just about having that feeling. And again, Drew, what you said is right on the money. It's just being a good man. Yeah. Tony knows what that is. You know what that is. I know what that is. It's not being an expert. It's just being a guy,
well, and I think
which I really like.
I think it's an educational process as we're all growing. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, at your age, at my age, at Drew's age, you know, it's consistently educating yourselves on being a man. And I think it's important to showcase that and
Right.
educate people on that because, again, it's something that we're lacking right now in society.
Well, I'll tell you, 2 things have happened already on this show. It's only the first episode of Man Up, and 2 things already happened to show that I've man up. I went to brush some salt off my pants and actually accidentally touched Tony's leg under the table. So I was like, well, you know. And then also, I looked back and there was a beautiful young lady walking by, and I'm a radio guy usually. So I look back, I look at her going, hey, how you doing? And realize my wife's watching me going, hey, how you doing? Not necessarily good, you know. So I have to man up and realize, you know, Catherine's sitting down to watch Man Up. She's going to sit down. She's going to see me say hello to this beautiful woman. And she's going to know that I'm man enough to realize how lucky I am to be married to such a wonderful woman as Catherine, who loves you more than me. Which, by the way, is part of being a man as well. A huge part. We talked about the children. At some point, whether it's today or a different show, we talk about what it is to be with someone you love and taking care of business that way as well. Wouldn't you agree?
Right, absolutely.
When we come back, we're going to talk your game, the fight game, Tony. Done. We're going to talk your game, the fight game, and we are going to talk to a real man. Next on Man Up.
The Aspire Beverages story is simple. We're just a couple of dads and coaches that got sick of watching people drink neon-colored junk in the name of sports.
So we created something better. Aspire all-natural sports drinks have all the good stuff. None of the artificial junk. Packed with electrolytes, vitamins and minerals, and pure awesomeness.
It's time to stop consuming empty calories in those old neon-colored sports drinks. Make the clear choice. Aspire natural sports drinks.
Welcome back to Man Up, ladies and gentlemen, with Drew and Tony and Tom on the Man Up Show. Now we're going to talk about my favorite sport of all time. I'm the king, I'm the greatest, and I'm so pretty. Now we're going to talk about your game. That's the fight game. I'm a huge boxing fan. I grew up with the Muhammad Ali's, the Joe Frazier's, Scott Ledoux locally, Larry Holmes.
The golden era.
The golden era of boxing. I couldn't wait. We used to go to the old Met Center and pay a lot of money to watch these guys slug it out. And everybody, when they left, they had this feeling, I can't wait to get in the ring and fight those guys myself. You're 16, 17 years old, and you go, I would like to do that. Let's talk about the fight game. How long have you been involved?
Well, I started promoting fights. Well, let me take that back. I started boxing out of college, Augsburg, and started boxing.
You got into college?
Yeah,
No.
I had to fight my way in and fight my way out.
Well, that's the fight game I was talking about.
So I started boxing out of college. Fought a lot locally. Won the Upper Midwest title as a young lad. Did some stuff in the pros, but then at the time Scott Ledoux was just becoming the boxing the boxing commissioner in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Scott approached me and was like, "Hey kid, you interested in doing some?"
Love Scotty.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. He was a great guy.
I think I told you a story. He once hit me in the chest from about that far away. I thought I was going to die. Hey, Tommy, how you doing? Boom! It's like, oh, man.
So he
hard.
Very
hard.
He talked me into promoting, and so I did my first show in 2006, and did my second show. Was the highest grossing boxing event in Minnesota history. We had Matt Vanda and Anthony Bonsante fight at the Target Center. And so things just kind of started rolling together from there.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful sport. As you said earlier, the sport of kings. We talked about that as well. We're going to take a look at a guy now. When we left, we talked about a real man, talking about a real man. The first time I ever saw him in the ring, I remember thinking to myself, I don't think I'd like to fight him. We're talking about a real man, in more ways than one, by the way. Mike Tyson on Man Up.
How does it feel being on this side of boxing?
Hey, it's fun. I was just in the dressing room. I remember my first fight. These guys already knew they have their second fight coming up. I can remember like it was yesterday, my first fight, being very anxious to want to do this, and this is very interesting. I'm so happy to be able, I'm very grateful to be able to do this.
Do you miss being in the ring?
No, I don't. It's too extreme, I'm too nervous, I'm too crazy. I like this side better.
And the shoe fits, doesn't it now?
Well, I feel good doing this. I feel good. I'm just very happy, and I'm very gregarious around the kids. I just like being here. This is where I belong.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mike Tyson, the man. I talked about the fact earlier I would not have wanted to get in the ring with this guy. I got to believe you two maybe feel the same way.
I don't want no piece of Mike.
Here's a guy who was a man in more ways than one.
Well, and I do want to talk to you about that, Drew. That's a very good point you're making there, because you look at him and he looks great. He's in shape. He's got both of those, I think they're called ears.
Both ears.
You can't ask Evander Holyfield about that. That's a different story. But he does. He looks great. And Mike has had his ups and downs. Sure. I mean, physically, mentally, certainly he's had his ups and downs. I mean, I remember seeing him one time. I couldn't believe it after you see Mike Tyson, just an animal. And then you see him, he's kind of looks like me, which is not that great. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about how in your business, how do you man up in your business to get back to where Mike Tyson is now?
Well, here's a guy who had it all.
Right.
Who lost it all. Who was dragged through the mud, whose life watches like some bad movie. And to see where he's at today, he's turned his life around, Let's give him, he went through a couple of years and lost complete control of his life with the drugs. So he got perspective out of the deal.
All he did was lose $350 million. Is that a big deal?
Thanks to Don.
Yeah, thanks to Don. Hey, by the way, nice hair, Don. Your little quick synopsis of how you look at Mike Tyson. I mean, looking at him on that video, he looks wonderful.
He looks great, real great. To me, we're talking about the baddest guy on the planet. Well, when I was a kid, he was the baddest guy on the planet, and then to see kind of the stuff that he struggled with the people he surrounded himself with the rape, with the Washington lady. I believe that was her last name.
Desiree, yeah.
But then to watch him transcend and raise himself up from where he was at, and to be happy and be solid and actually come up with a TV show or a movie where he addressed all of his life from ups and downs and embrace the fact that he is manning up. He's changing things. He's making things for the better.
Recognizing the past for what it was.
I would just like to point out that Tony Grygelko was talking about me and used the word transcend.
Transcend for Mike Tyson. Next on Man Up, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Mauer on our radar. Look out. Next on Man Up.
It starts your morning with the forecast, then watches your energy use all day. It can change your temperature from anywhere in the world, prevent you from heating and cooling an empty house, and still give you a comfortable welcome home. The iComfort Wi-Fi from Lennox.
The most advanced comfort control solution available anywhere is now available for your home.
So call Liberty Comfort Systems and make your home a smart home today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
My dream is to become a mechanical engineer. My dream is to be
a ballerina.
My dream is to be a veterinarian.
I want to be a chef,
truck driver,
a teacher,
a shoe designer,
professional skateboarder.
But right now,
I'm just a kid.
Just a kid.
I'm just a kid.
I'm just a kid ready to be adopted.
Ready to be adopted.
I'm just a kid ready to be adopted. For the facts about adopting a child from foster care, contact the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
Welcome back to Man Up, ladies and gentlemen. We have gotten to my favorite part of the whole thing right now. We're in the middle of baseball season. I got to tell you about a call we got at TomBarnardPodcast.com. Guy calls in one day and he says, I just called Billy Maurer's outfit, his car dealership.
Oh, this is Joe Mauer again.
And he goes, well, it's going to be in a minute. It's Billy right now. Guy tells me he calls Billy Maurer and says, hey, unlike your brother, do your cars start every day? But anyway, we're going to talk a little Joe Mauer. This is a Man Up show. I do have a problem with the way he's handling himself this season. The man was an MVP. He led the league in batting, 3 times, I think we're talking? Lyman Bostock, before his death, a tremendous player, by the way, before his death, he went through a situation, he signed for a lot of money, and he actually went back to then I think they were the California Angels, Los Angeles, they were the Angels. He went back, he said, I don't believe that I earned all this money, and he offered to give it back. To me, that's manning up. You didn't do your job. Why are you taking all this money? The problem I have, and Drew, you did mention it, we're back on Mauer again, and I'm not going to leave Mauer alone, because $24 million a year, you strike out with men in scoring position all the time, you're not doing your job, and you're showing no emotion. That's the problem I have with it right now. He shows no emotion, not that he's sad, not that he's angry.
Not that he's overpaid by about $23 million a year.
23 and a half, as you said earlier. I just want to see somebody, I know it's childish, but throw your bat down. I mean, yeah, it's a childish thing to do, but it's also showing your teammates, I really care.
Right.
I don't see any sign that he cares.
Charge the pitcher.
Well, it is. No, it is. I mean, seriously. I just look for a little emotion here. I know he's not an emotional guy. I understand from everybody talking, he's just a terrific guy, but he needs to man up and go to the team and say, hey, you know what? We need to do something about how much money I'm being paid. Maybe I'll, sign on for 2 more years at no more money. We can spread this out so you can go get more ball players.
Right.
When you're that big a figure, when you've done as well as you have for a few years, and then all of a sudden you just hit the wall, that's when you have to be a man. Stand up and say to your team, hey, look, I'm not doing it. Kirby Puckett did it.
Yeah.
I mean, Kirby Puckett said, hey, hop on, man. I'll ride us to the World Series championship. He was a hell of a leader. Joe Mauer, if you're making $24 million a year, you got to be a leader. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
With the season he's having, they have to find a spot for him. They have to have him do something. Maybe sell peanuts in the stand.
That'd be good. We'll sell some peanuts. Well, that's a good point as well, because you can't bat him third. You can't have a guy batting third in the order. He's got to be down around 7. And I know he's a big star and he's a big name. He was an all-star and all these other things we've talked about already. But when you're doing that badly, you can't bat number 3, number 4, number 2. You got to be down there batting number 7, batting that 7 slot, somewhere in there. So I think Gardy's got to man up a little bit too and say, hey, sorry, but we're moving you down the order. You're not getting the job done. And actually, if I were Mauer, I would go to Gardy and say, hey, I got to move down in the order. I have to.
Right.
I'm not producing right now. Maybe I can get my head straight. And if it wasn't for that bilateral leg weakness, I could still be catching. But
I think that's part of the strategy. I mean, I'm no professional baseball coach, but I think that's part of the strategy of helping a kid, get hotter, is moving them down in the lineup, having them taking some of the pressure off of you. And then hope see if his back can react to that. I think we're talking about
when you move him back up, test his mettle again.
Yeah, we're talking about the most polarizing and maybe biggest sports figure in Minnesota right now.
No question.
That absolutely has to man up because he should be carrying this team.
Adrian Peterson, a perfect example. A guy manned up when they didn't have a quarterback. What did he do? He should have broken the rushing record, but he was mishandled.
Damn close.
Adrian Peterson manned up. Joe Mauer needs to man up and say, I'm not getting the job done. I need to help this team, and whatever it takes to the players, the owners, the fans, to the coach, to the manager, I'll do whatever you need me to do. And I have not heard that from Joe Mauer. And man up continues. Anyway, sorry. When man up continues, the final thoughts from all of us here on Man Up.
Pick up the latest issue of Wheels of Thunder magazine. If it's on wheels, you'll find it in Wheels of Thunder. Full color photos of bikes, trikes, cars, trucks, and even sleds. High performance or right off the street. Mind-blowing power, speed, and custom touches. It's all in Wheels of Thunder magazine. Plus, find out about the latest races, rallies, and custom products and services in your area. Check out Wheels of Thunder on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Wheels of Thunder.
Welcome back to Man Up, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for some final thoughts. A lot of great stuff went on the show today, as it will every week when we bring you Man Up. Drew's with us, Tony's with us. We're going to talk about final thoughts, their thoughts on what it means to be a man, on what Man Up is, and did the first episode deliver what you wanted it to? Tony, what'd you think of the first show? I thought it went very well.
I thought it went great. I'm looking forward to more education from Drew, on
very smart guy.
On the P's. And, I think it was great. Again, I look forward to even for myself, I look forward to the whole development of this show. I look forward to the excitement that the thing's going to bring to males, to females, to everybody, and in the creation and the education of masculinity and the male roles. I like it.
Great. Well, thank you guys for the opportunity, man. It's been a ball.
Oh, thank you, man.
We're going to have a lot of fun with this show, Man Up, over the, like I said, the next 30 years, something like that. It'll be a ball. But obviously, we can't do it without you. Thank you so much for watching the show. It's called Man Up. We'll be here every single week. That's it for this week, but thank you very, very much for watching Man Up.
So who do you think would win in a fight, Joe Mauer or Mike Tyson?
Oh, God. That would not be fair. That's that Man Up candy ass thing coming back to